Welcome grade 8. Without wasting of time, we're going to run through these few concepts that we have listed here based on the worksheet that you have. Alright, so you're going to mark based on against your own solutions. Here's the first one. Round off the following 3, 2, 5, 6 to the nearest 10 and 100. So 1A, 1. 3, 2, 5, 6. Don't forget how we number. It's unit, tens, hundred, and we have thousands. Okay, but this first question says to the nearest 10. So I will look at my value of the 10, which is 5. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to look at the 6. If it is 5 and above, what happens? We change it to 1 and add it to the 5. Remember, it says to the nearest 10. So I look at the number before the 10. This number is 6, for example. Therefore, if it's rounded off, it becomes 3, 2, 6. Where did I get the 6 from? I changed the 6 to a 1 and I add it to the 5 and I have 3260. Let's look at the second one quickly. What we have? 3, 2, 5, 6 to the nearest 100. Again, I have it as unit, tens, and hundred. So my focus at the moment would be on this. That's the 100. Then I'll check the number I have here. It is 5 and above. Anything greater than 4 means I'll change this and add it to that. Change it to 1. So 1 plus 2 gives me 3. So this rounded off becomes 3003 and then becomes 0, 0. I hope that makes sense. And that's what we're going to do throughout. We just need to check the positions. 4, 8, 4, 4, 4 to the nearest thousands. What do we have? Units, tens, 100. All right, thousand. So this is my focus. Look at the number next to it. It's 4. So 4 and anything below 4 will not be changed to 1. So my answer becomes 48,000. Remember, if it is greater than 4, that is 5 and above, then we would change. Let's look at C. 825,3714 to the nearest 2 decimal places. So I'm going to count the numbers after the decimal. But how many numbers am I counting? Just 2, which is 3 and 7. There, I'm going to stop there. This time around, we're counting towards the right. Look at the number. Same thing, it is less than 5. So it doesn't have an effect. So my answer would be what? 8. So it only has an effect if it is 5 and above. Once you get the correct position, 3, 7. Let's look at D. 8, 2, 3, 3, 7, 4, 5. Again to 2 decimal places. Okay, I can just use this extended line. All right, what do you see? It's a 4 there. All right, it's not a 5 and above. Therefore, it has no impact. We would leave our answer like that. 3, 7. Let's look at the next one. E. 8, 2, 3, 3, 7, 5, 4. Again to 2 decimals. So I count the 2 numbers behind the decimal. But what do you notice? This is a 5. Oh yeah, so this is going to change. Changes to 1 and we add it to that. So what do we have? 8, 2, 3, 3, 8. I hope this makes sense. All right, please go through the explanation. 4 and downwards, we don't do anything. We only change it to a 0. But 5 and above changes to 1 and it affects the number. Make sure you get the position correct. Yusra, Yusri, and Yanif needs to divide 60 apples in the ratio 1 to 3. How many will each get? There are 3 steps here. First is you calculate the total of the ratios. So it's 1 plus 2 plus 3, and that gives us 6. Now we find the factor. That is, you take the number you are divided and divide it by the total of the ratios, and that gives us 10. Then we have our parts. For the first one, which is 1, it's always arranged in that order. So usurer is the first, so that's part 1. We take our factor and multiply by usurer's portion, which is 60. Then we go to who? Usury. Usury is 2. All right, so I am using the ratio 1, 2, 3. 10, again the factor, multiplied by 2. And that will give us, why did I say? Sorry, that is 10. I was looking at 60. And this one, 10 times 2, will give us what? 20. Then we look at who? Yanif. Yanif, so it's ratio 1, 2, 3. That's my 1, 2, and 3. 10 times 3, and that is 30. So that if I add everything together, I go back to my 60 apples. So follow the 3 steps. Number 1, the total. Number 2, the factor. And number 3, the parts. The order is always, so if I have usurer, it's usury, and it is Yanif. And the question said ratio 1, 2, and 3. It's in that order. Lovely. Let's look at the next one. Calculate the HCF and the LCM of 28, 35, and 140. The first thing is to use our ladder method. All right, 28, 35, and 140. All right, so you are going to use prime numbers to do all of this. So what we have, 2 can go in here, 14, 2 in 14, 7. Now 7, there's no number that can go into 7. All right, 35, we have a 5, 7, 7, 1. Okay, we're done. Here we have a 2, 70, we have a 2, 35, we have a 5, that's a 7. All right, let's write down our numbers. So 28 is 2 to the power 2 times 7. 35 is 5 times 7. 140 is 2 to the power 2 times 5 and times 7. Now, LCM. L stands for lowest. But when we are looking for the lowest, we are going to deal with the highest exponent. Now, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to look at all the prime factors that I have and write each of them down. There is a 2 there, right? Remember, there is a 2 here, there is a 5, and there is a 7. So I'm going to write all of them down. 2, 5, and 7. Then I'm going to look for the highest. The 2 with the highest exponent here is a 2. Okay, so I'm going to come here and put the highest exponent. 5 is a 1. And 7 is a 1. I'm going to multiply that. That is 4 times 5 times 7. 4 times 5 is 20. And what is 20 times 7? That is 140. With that. HCF. Now, this one is the highest. Now, we are going to look for the exponent, lowest exponent, but watch this. That is common. It must be common to all of them. Now, if I check here, let's go and check. There's a 2 here and here. This doesn't have a 2. Wait, there's a 7 here. There's a 7. Oh, beautiful. I got my first one. Okay, so my HCF is 7. Let's check something here. There is a 5 here, but there is no 5, so 5 is out. It must be common. Now, let's check for the 7 with the lowest exponent. They are all 1, 1, 1. Oh, so I'm done. My HCF is 7. So please check. When you are looking for the LCM, lowest, you look for the highest common. List all, whether it's common or not. List all. the prime factors. Then look for the highest exponent. HCF, a bit of a difference. Find what is common first, across. 7 is common across. Then I look for the lowest. It's the 7 with the lowest exponent. It's all 1, 1, 1. And that's it. Done. Calculate the following awesome integers now. For A, let's see quickly. Negative 4 minus negative 8 plus negative 3 plus negative 2. Now, the rule is that we want to make sure we are adding. So, I have a problem with all the ones that are not a plus. I have a problem with that. I have to change that. And what do? I change that into a positive. But when I change this, the sign in the bracket must also change. That's the rule. Okay, plus, I'm not going to change that. That's already plus. I have a problem here with the one in green. It has to be a positive. When I change that, this must also be a positive. Now we can group all the positives. So we have positive. Let's check. We have 8. Which one am I grouping? Let me use a green. That's a positive value. That's a positive value. So we can group that. 8 plus 8. Let's group it. Okay. Plus. Now, let's group the other ones. It's negative 4. Alright. Negative 3 and negative 2. So what are we going to have? Positive 16 plus negative. Now what is, if you add in the negative, it just remains the same. Alright, sign remains the same rather. 4, 3, 2, 7 and negative 9. And basically we can always use money. Plus is the money you have. And minus is the money you owe. So you can always do the math in your head quickly. Now, if I have 16 Rand and I'm owing 9 Rand, what happens? I'm going to pay my 9 Rand and still have some extra money. Question is, how much do you have? You have a 7. So it is your money, which is plus. And, okay, so I could use the money owed. Check. I have negative 4, money I borrowed, plus 8, money I have. I borrowed 3 Rand. I borrowed 2 Rand. Then I have 8 Rand. Let's check what my change would be. Okay, I borrowed negative 4. I have 8, which means I now have what? Positive 4 after paying my 4 Rand. Then I went to borrow 3 Rand. Oops. So my change, I now have 1 Rand to my name. Then I borrowed 2 Rand. Okay, after borrowing 2 Rand, I gave the 1 Rand. It means I am still owing minus 1 Rand. But then I have 8 Rand all of a sudden. Oh, so how much do I have? I have 7 Rand. Whichever maths works for you, just do it. Oh no, we still have a lot of questions there. What about B? Let me just reproduce this page. Okay, so we have B. Let's see quickly. I know you are marking B. Positive 3 plus 4 times 3. Now, this is using the rule of BODMAS. Where do we start solving from? We start from there. BODMAS. So this is positive 3 plus, now 4 times 3 would give us a 12. Is that okay? Plus negative 2. Oh, it's all addition, so we good. We are good. I have 3 and I have 12 Rand. That gives me 15. Then I borrowed 2 Rand, which still leaves me with positive what? 13. C. What is the square root of a negative number? This is undefined. We cannot find the square root of a negative. What about D? Negative square root of 4. The negative is outside. There's nothing I can do about that other than to just take it on. And then root 4 would give me what? 2. Please mark quickly as possible. You can rewind to listen to the explanations again. Okay, let's see this. Let's see this. E. What is the cube root of 8? A number I would multiply by itself 3 times. and that is 2. What is f? The cube root of negative 8. Now, the cube root of a negative number would be a negative number, and that is 2. That's quite easy. G, what do we have? The square root of 2 plus 3 squared. Everything squared. Interesting question here. Let's walk through this together. Square root of 4 plus, what is 3 squared? 9. But don't forget, there is a square there. What is 4 plus 9? That is actually 13 squared. And we have a square root. Oh, beautiful. What is 13 times 13? You need to know that. And if you don't know that, just quickly do it on the side in case you don't know. All right. But, okay, let's see. 3 times 3 is 9, and then we have 3 there. We're going to block this and put a 0. I have 3 and 1. 169. Oh, this is 169. What is a number that I would multiply by itself? Oh, by the way, I was multiplying 13 by itself. So that's 13. Ah, that's being smart. Okay, let's look at h. The cube root of. Please just rewind. I'm just a bit fast because we got a lot to do. All right, what do I have? Let's do it slowly. Now we start from the multiplication part. Okay, 3 squared will be 9. Let's do that. 9 times negative 3 plus 6 plus negative 6. Now we multiply, do the multiplication first. What will that give us? The cube root of negative 27 plus 6 plus negative 6. Beautiful. Now let's see quickly here. What will this be? Now, you could actually walk through this and look at this. This is very interesting. I have 6 rand and I borrowed 6 rand. It means the balance is a 0. So what do I have left? I have cube root of, I hope that makes sense, plus 6 minus 6. And cube root of a negative number, negative. Cube root of 27 would be 3. Beautiful questions. Oh, we're looking at rate. Now, if I see that I'm looking at rate, you know what I would do immediately? What I would do immediately is to draw a triangle. And I'll do that, divide my triangle, and put the appropriate sign. Since I've seen the word rate, this one is divided by, this is divided by, and multiplication. Okay. Calculate the rate. Rate is always here. Of consumption in liters. Please, guys, once you have liters per kilometer, this one would always go on top and this one at the bottom right. Always. So here, I would have my liters and I'll have my kilometers. Okay? If Bashir uses 250, oh, check, 250 liters over a distance of 5 kilometers. Oh, sweet. So I would come here and say the rate, which is liters per, which is over. And basically I am saying volume, because we measure that in liters, over the distance. What is the volume? 250. And what's the distance? 5. How many times will 25 go in 5? Or 5 go in 25 rather? It is 50. But write your unit. It is 50 liters per kilometers. So your triangle will always help you out. Okay, I hope I know how this works. Use the sign to guide yourself. Randy Orton, all right, a WWE wrestler, invested 800 rand at a simple interest rate of 20% PA. Don't forget what that rate is. Rate is 20% PA. What does PA mean? It means per annum, and that is per year. All right, per year, but PA is per annum, the Latin word. Okay, the principal amount invested is 800. How much interest Lovely. Will you have after 3 years? Simple interest equals to PRT. Please, there's a mark we're giving you for that. Principal 800. What is the rate? 20 over 100. And what is the time? All right, the time is in years, so we're good here. Now, what do? These two zeros can actually take out those two. So what we have left? 8 times 20 and times 3. What is this? Find a way of making it work for you. 8 times 2, 16. 16 times 3, 48. But I left out a 0, so I'm going to put my 0 there. 480. Now, B. How much does he have after? Oh, final amount is the original amount plus the simple interest. What is the original amount we have? 800 plus, what's our interest? 480. You can simply do your addition there. All right. 0, 8, and 12. Oh, so Randy now has 1,280. Please take note, there's a mark there, there's a mark there. For the addition, there's a mark, and the final answer, there is a mark. Layla needs to buy a TV that costs 30,000. She deposits 15%. Okay, let's quickly write that information down. Our deposit is 15%. And decides to pay the balance. Interesting. What is the balance as a percentage? Balance as a percentage would be what? 100% minus 15%, and that will be what? 85%. All right, and our time over a period of 3 years. Beautiful. And the rate is 2% per annum. How much will Layla pay monthly? Now, this requires a series of steps. The first step is to calculate the balance. The deposit rather, in terms of cash. How much? 15 over 100 times 30. 1, 2, 3. I like to cancel out the zeros on top and below. Only on top and below. 15 times 3 would give me 45. And I have 2 zeros that I left behind. There we go. That's the deposit. What is the balance? The total amount, 30,000 minus 4,000. Make sure you arrange it nicely. 0, 0. Now, 0 cannot go in, 5 cannot go in 0. So we borrow 1 from here, and that becomes a 9. And this becomes a 10. 10 minus 5, 5. 9 minus 4, 5. Oh, remember, we borrowed 1 from... No, we're good. We're good. We borrowed 1 from 3, okay, to the 10. All right? We borrowed 1 there, and that left us with a 2. So we have 25,500. Again, let's go through that again. Let me re-explain that. So it's 30,000 and 4,500. Okay, so minus 0, 0. We have to borrow 1 from this 30 or from 3. Make it 2 there, and that's 10. All right, but I need the 0, so I'm going to borrow 1 from here again to give me 9. So out of 30, we took 1. That's what we're saying. And then we have 5 and then 2. That is the balance. Now let us calculate the interest over the balance. How do we calculate our interest? Our interest would be simple interest. Always write the formula. PRT. Print. 20. How much was that value? 25,500. All right. And what is the interest rate? Is 2%, I think. And for 3 years, 2 over 100. And for 3 years. Beautiful. So we have what? 255 times 2 times 3 would give us a 6. Let's do the multiplication. 5 times 6 there. We have 30. All right, we take up the 3. 30 plus 3, 33. I have a 3 again. 6 times 2, that's 12. 2 times 6, 12. 12 plus 3, 15. Okay, that's my interest. Now, what is the total that is owed? She was owing 25,500 plus the interest. Please make sure you arrange neatly. Okay, 0, 3. This is 10. We take up the 1, and that will give us a 7. And we have 2. Now, monthly. How much is she owing? It's 27,030 divided by how many years? Remember, 3 years. But we are talking about months, so it's 3 times 12. And that gives us 36. How do we divide this? Let's make the division very easy. You know what we do. We start by seeing. Can we simplify it by dividing by 2 first? Let's try to divide by 2 to make life easy. So I'm going to do it on the side. Okay? So that it's easy for everyone. 2 can go into, yes, 1 there. All right. Then we drop the 7. What do we have? 3, 6. It's a 1. We drop the 0. Can 2 go in 10? Yes. It's a 5. Lovely. Then we drop the 3. 2 and 3. 1. Beautiful. Then we have a 1. And we drop the 0, which is now 5. Sweet, sweet maths there. Okay. 1, 3, 5, 1, 5 over. What is 36 divided by 2? 18. Just to make it a bit easy, let's check again. We cannot divide by 2, but can we divide by 3? 1 plus 3, 4 plus 5, 9. 9 plus 1, 10, 15. So I added all of these numbers together. 1 plus 3, 4 plus 5, 9 plus 1, 10 plus 5, 15. Because 15 is divisible by 3, we can divide this by 3. So let's do it again. 1, 3, 5, 1, 5 over 3. How many times will 3 go in 13? 4. That will give me 12. We have a 1. I'm going to drop the 5. We have a 5. 15. I'm going to drop the 1. Can 3 go in 1? No, I'm going to put a 0. Alright? And I'm going to drop that. Oh, sweet maths. This is, you got to take your time here. But can 3 go in 18? Yes, we have what? 6. Alright, so we have 4, 5, 0, 5, and we have 6. How many times will 6 go in 45? 7. That is 42. I'm going to subtract 45 minus 42 would give me 3. All right. Now, what do? I drop my 0 immediately. Okay. How many times will 6 go in that? That's going to give me 5. I have a 30. All right. And then I have a 5. Okay. Okay. So 6 cannot go in 5. I'm going to block that with a 0 first. Okay. Now, I have a 50. Can 6 go in 50? 8. And then I have 48. I have a 2 there. Can 6 go there? I have 3. 18. Now it's going to continue. So my answer would be 750,83. All right. I think we have the last question. If 1 rand is equivalent to 15, remember what we did? We write it as ratio. $15. How much? So this is A. Will 15,000 rand. I'm going to put my 15 here. And I'm looking for the missing value. All right, so we can work out with ratios. From here, you can see that we are multiplying with 15,000. So we need to also multiply with 15,000 here. All right, X is 15,000 multiplied by 15. Don't worry about the zeros. What is 15 times 15? All right, that will give me 75. 1 times 5, 5, and 1. And that will give us 5, 2, 2. So that is 2, 2, 5, and 000. All right, I know this rate looks weird, but it's just a calculation for calculation purpose. And the last one, usually Americans should not see this because dollars is way higher than rands. But don't worry, we're just doing a bit of maths. 30,000, and we don't know this. Okay, one of the easiest way to see this is to divide. Okay, we did this in class, and we said 15x, we multiply 15 times x, will give us 15x, 30,000. What do? Get rid of the 15 by dividing both sides. And what do we have? Can 15 go in 30? Yes, that is 2 and 3 zeros. And that's it. Please make sure you check all the solutions again. Listen over and over, rewind to make sure that you get this right. And you will be good for the test. Goodbye, everybody, and have a lovely day.